Hello everyone, in this video I'll be showing you a Drunken Master Monk multi-class with the Rogue Thief build in Baldur's Gate 3. I have two different versions of this I'll be showing off in this video. And first things first, I think that we start off with the Rogue, or the Monk here, because it's going to have the easier start of the two. And for this, I would recommend going with an ability score set of, I think that going with Strength is going to be best, and Tavern Brawler is quite important to this build. We want to have a good, decent bit of Wisdom, and Dexterity is also quite important for our armor class. So we could go with a stat spread like this. If you want to use strength potions, it's going to maximize the damage of this. You don't need to use strength potions, but it does boost up the damage quite a bit. So we could spec this from the dexterity into strength as well. So 16 and so 16 dexterity, 14 constitution, 16 wisdom, 10 charisma, 10 strength. And then if you really want to, you could also take those points into constitution and then use the tavern brawler to bump that up and then use a strength potion. So that'd be the strength potion version of this. I'll be covering all the gear as well in this video too, and a combat guide near the end so you get an idea of how this plays. So the monk gets bonus action abilities here that use our key points at level 2, and into level 3, this is when we get ourselves our subclass, and we're going to go with the Way of the Drunken Monk, our Drunken Master here. I also have the 5e subclasses combined mod by Sumer Dag not there, but Way of the Drunken Master, what this gives is the cheeky tipple, so you become immune to the negative effects of being drunk, and once per day when you drink alcohol, you regain half your key points rounded down. We also get our Drunken Proficiency, and also the Drunken Technique, which is a punch twice in quick succession, granting yourself an additional 3 meters of movement and the benefits of disengage. So it's a bonus action ability, which is quite nice because we can use this to stack a few different things. At level 4, we get the Life of the Party, which is pretty important because every time we hit with Intoxicating Strike, we get an Life of the Party stack, which gives us an increased armor class and attack rolls against drunk targets. So that gives us both an action and a bonus action version of the Intoxicating Strike. So at next level, we can do 3 Intoxicating Strikes per turn, which is actually pretty nice. Now, for our feat, I think it's actually best to go with Tavern Brawler here, take our Constitution up to 16, as Tavern Brawler is going to double our Strength modifier. So using a Strength Potion at early game, we can get a plus 10 to our attack rolls and damage rolls. So what plus 10 means we're likely never going to miss. At level 5, extra attack, and the ever-powerful Stunning Strikes. These are super useful to have because this can stun a target, making them pretty well useless for that turn. But that power spike getting the extra attack is quite huge. At level 6 here, we get ourselves a redirect attack. When a creature misses you with a melee attack, you can spend 1 key point as a reaction to use an unarmed strike back. Ambulance can leap to your feet. When you're prone, it only uses 1.5 meters of your movement speed to stand back up. And we can also overcome magical resistance to and immunity to non-magical damage, so we can actually damage a lot of targets now with our fists. And into level 7, this gives us the Stillness of Mind. If you're charmed or frightened, you can automatically cast the Stillness of Mind to remove it. And you get Evasion, so Agility lets you dodge the way of certain spells. When a spell or effect would deal half damage on a successful dexterity saving throw, it deals none, and only half if you fail, which is really nice because that just means we're taking a lot less spell damage. Into level 8, we get ourselves another feat here. And at this point, you can go with an increase to your dexterity or strength if you're going all in on your strength. And even Wisdom's nice because it does benefit some of our attacks. I think a dexterity is going to be the most important though. It gives us more initiative and a better armor class. Now we could go here. This gives us the Sobering Realization, which you hit a drunk target and sober them up, dealing bonus psychic damage. On a successful hit, you lose Life of the Party. So it's kind of a trade-off. So I think it's actually best at this point to add in the Rogue here. This gives us some extra ability checks here. So sleight of hand, even stealth you could go with there. And what the Rogue does is it gives us an extra bonus action for our punches. We also get bonus action abilities that don't use our key points, which is quite nice. And at level 3, we're going to go with the Thief here. So that's weird. That's weird. But yeah, we're going to go with the Thief. The Assassin's also quite nice too to go with, but I think the Thief works best because that extra bonus action is very, very nice. And this is where we get the decision. So we could either go with the extra feat at level 4 here, so we get 3 feats, or you get the Sobering Realization and advance on our movement and a key point. So the choice is yours. If you want to boost up your dexterity by 2, go with the Rogue, or if there's any other feat that you'd like to take. But we can also go 9-3 here to get ourselves Sobering Realization. So those are 2 solid options. Now into the gear section. So we're going with some different items here, like the Punch Drunk Bastard. So you don't have to use this, but when you're drunk, you have advantage on attack rolls. You also create a blast with each attack, doing 1 to 4 thunder damage for 3 meters. This does work here because we're going to be drunk while we do this. I recommend also having some type of alcohol there, so whenever you do your attacks, you do get that bonus on your hits there, so the advantage too, and that big explosion that you get from it, which is kind of nice. So that works. You also have your bonus abilities here that we can go with, so Organization and many others. You can also just take it off if you don't want to use it. But you can see there, our Drunken Technique can do upwards of 68 damage, which is quite nice. And that is with a Strength Potion, taking our Strength up to 27. So plus 16 to the attack rolls and damage rolls. I also want the Scrappy Pugilist Circlet here, giving 2 extra damage when surrounded by 2 or more foes. And a Cloak of Protection for better armor class. This here will give us a reaction unarmed strike, which means we can save our key points on our normal punches there. This is also one of the better ones. You also get some healing on it. Late game item. Use whatever you got. The Cat's Grace item early game is also quite nice. Gloves of Soul Catching. Use whatever gloves you can find early game to enhance your damage, but this will give us a 1d10 bonus and also plus 2 Constitution. Evasive Shoes will give us an increased armor class as well. I also like the Killer Sweeter for that free crit and the Ring of Protection too for better armor class and Amulet greater health. Although you can swap these out. The Sentient Amulet is another great option. This gives you the Key Restoration too, so that can be really good if you want to go for a little bit less health overall. And I also got the Hellrider Longbow for the plus 3 to our initiative. So what this ends up looking like in combat, we do have our sneak attacks too, which is kind of a nice bonus to this. But we want to get up and use our Intoxicating Strike to stack up our armor class against these drunken targets. This class also has some of the best animations too in the game, so whenever we do that punch, you get this really cool animation here, and then you go in and give them a big old whack on the head. So this also is really nice because whenever we knock out a drunk target, we get those, or whenever we hit a drunk target, we get the life of the party, giving us a bonus to our armor class there. So really effective because that can help us with surviving. This does burn through our key points pretty quickly, but keep alcohol on hand and you'll be able to regain them. So we didn't get them drunk there, unfortunately. Well, but we did get them drunk 5 turns. But we didn't get any extra stacks of the life of the party there. And we also get that bonus unarmed strike too. So you do want to use that, as you can save your key points a little bit by using that instead. So we'll do our bonus action attack there and just kick them with it. And then we have our second bonus action for the Drunken Technique, which we can use on a caster here. Boom, that took them out perfectly. And it hit psychic damage and an air effect. Huge. And then we also got the Soul Snare heal, which we could also use to give ourselves a little extra health if we needed it, but we don't. So pretty good turn. So we are surrounded, so we're going to be dealing a little bit of extra damage. Always prioritize any type of mage character whenever we're in a situation like this. And we're going with the Intoxicating Strike here to further stack up our damage. So bash them over the head with the bottle. Just going to continue doing that to targets, getting them drunk there, which is kind of funny, but super effective for taking them out. And you also have Stunning Strikes, which are also quite useful. The Stunning Strike is actually probably better than using the Drunken Intoxicating Strike. And if I'm being honest, the Open Hand is way better than this class. So if you want to min-max and go for the most powerful option, I would recommend just doing a doing one of those instead. But you can see here, pretty cool attack animations. The damage on this class is pretty solid as well. And we'll just go around taking out these targets. Get a critical block. Wow. The Punch Drunk Bastard is also pretty funny to use, so we could go ahead with using that as well. We can just go with our normal Intoxicating Strike there to hopefully take this target out. Now we got him drunk, broke the concentration. That was good enough. And we'll use another one, then we'll use the Punch Drunk Bastard on attack over here because it's pretty decent damage overall, especially if you got a Strength Potion. It's going to hit quite hard. We're not drunk, so we got to change that. We got ourselves Arabella Dry here. Now we're drunk. We got our key points back, and we're ready to bonk. So hopefully this will actually do the explode. Yeah, there we go. We got the thunder damage blasting. Unfortunately, it hit Shadowheart too. And we got our bonus action. Drunken Technique is really, really effective, so we'll go ahead with that. Boom, taking them out as well. And the Drunken Technique, again, is probably our biggest option in terms of damage. So you can see there, it hits really hard. And yeah, we'll go ahead with another Intoxicating Strike here. We got advantage on that attack. Bonk. Bash the bottle into their head. Perfect. And now for the final one, we ran out of our key points, unfortunately, so we just got ourselves that unarmed strike that we'll use to hopefully take them out, a kick to the face, and there it is. So that is the Drunken Master Monk multiclass with the Rogue Thief in Baldur's Gate 3. Open Hand Monk is a whole lot better, but hey, this is still pretty decent as well. Pretty cool night mode mod as well. So yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comments, hit the subscribe button below if you haven't already, and I'll see you all in the next video.